Was Herb Abrams UWF, is that like your big break where you got your first big push, you think, or was it a little before that?
I didn't get a big push. No.
You had interview time and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Herb Abrams was a dick. He was a dick. He stiffed me on my money along with everybody else, and it was like he brought in all these like ex-WWF guys and Steve Williams, and I was just basically used put those guys over, but I had like that cutie pie gimmick, and so I was like, Herb, I want to talk, and he was like, okay, we'll let you talk. So they put on one of my a couple of my interviews, I think.
Right.
And I think I did like one of those Captain Lou's corners and stuff. And that was kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, Herb Abrams was still a dick.
Did the other guys think of him that way too? Well, I guess so, if he stiffed everybody in their money.
Well, eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think he was a dick when I first met him. I just realized he was a dick afterwards.
Was he the booker there? Was he the one?
No, Brian Blair, I think, was the booker.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think he had known who I was from WWF and knew that I was able to work, so that's why he gave me a little bit better of a spot.
Yeah. Were you on his pay-per-view or?
No, I was already
long gone by then.
Yeah.
When you guys were there, did you guys think that UWF was going to go big? Because a lot of people at that time were like, nah. Thought it was just another independent thing, more or less.
No, I thought he was
clueless.
Just going to screw everything up.
Yeah.
I was right.
Which he did.
Yeah.
How soon did you hook up with AAA?
Let's see. Herb Abrams was 1991. And then I wrestled the next year. AAA and FMW had a joint show at Cal State LA, and I wrestled on that. And right after that match that I had, Onita grabbed me.
Right.
And he was like, I want you to come to Mexico. Are we going to answer that phone?
Machine will get it.
Well, yeah, we'll turn the radio off.
No.
I can't talk.
You know what? We hide this by the sink.
I just by the sink.
Huh.
So anyways,
Onita grabbed you were saying?
Yeah, Onita grabbed me and he said, I want you to come to Japan. See, I was already supposed to go to Japan in December 91, and I decided I didn't want to go because I didn't want to leave my girlfriend. Not because she didn't want me to go, because
Madonna?
No, not Madonna. That was later. My girlfriend, I didn't want to leave her for 3 weeks, so I decided not to go. And then I don't know when it was, like in May when they had their first show. I wrestled Isaki, who's now Hayabusa. We had a good match. And he grabbed me and said, I want you to come to Mexico. I said, okay. I want you to come to Japan. He said, okay. And then 10 days later, they called me and said, we want you here next week. And it just so happened that my girlfriend was going on vacation to Europe that same time. So I was like, well, hell, I'm not going to be seeing her anyways. I might as well go. So then I went, and that was cool. And then I went there during the summer of 92, and then it wasn't until the very beginning of 93, right after I stopped working for WWF, is when I hooked up with AAA, just in the California part.
How come you stopped working for FMW?
Well, because Sabu got me fired because I peed on the bus. But I really didn't pee on the bus. I really didn't pee on the bus. The bus driver wouldn't stop unless Sabu told him to.
Right.
Everyone say, you want to stop? Want to stop? Let's stop. Let's stop. Bus driver look in his rear mirror, look at Sabu. If Sabu said no, he wouldn't stop. Sabu said yeah, he would.
Right.
And I wanted him to stop because I had to pee. He wouldn't stop. I said, fuck him. So they had these big water bottles. Mine was empty, so I just peed in it. And then Bill Anderson was sitting across the bus from me. I was like, hey, Bill, I peed in the bottle. He was like, good, fuck him. So then, I had to pee again, and I was like, stop. They wouldn't stop, so I peed in the bottle again. So then they finally stopped, and when they were getting off the bus, Bill Anderson goes, "Hey, Sabu, look, you peed in the bottle." And he goes, "Ah, look, you peed in the bottle." So then they go, "Come on, everybody get off the bus. We're at the rest stop." And I go, "Well, fuck, I don't got to go to the bathroom now. I already went 30 times in the bottle." So then when they were all coming out, I said, "Well, I better empty this out in case I have to go again, because God knows he's not going to stop." So I poured it out the window, and Sabu joking around, I guess it got lost in translation, was like, "Look, he's peeing out the window." Bus driver got all flipped out, and they told on me to Onita, and Onita was like, "Oh, work inside ring is good, but outside ring you have to stop." And I was like, "Well, fuck, what do you want me to do?" The goddamn guy wouldn't stop. So he's like, "Oh, don't worry," and then they never took him back.
Yeah, wow.
So that was fun.
So then you went with Ron Scholar?
Yeah, eventually I started working for Ron Scholar, and I worked on that first show at the sports arena that was had 18,000 people at it.
Yeah.
And that was cool. And then Conan was Conan had done that thing in WWF. Remember when he was going to do the Mexican gimmick?
Yeah.
Well, he wanted an American to work with that could do all his Mexican stuff. So he told them to use me, and since he knew who I was, they used me. And there was one time where Pena, who was still, I think, Booker at EMLL, and he was thinking of starting AAA, Conan brought him to meet Vince. And I didn't know who he was. I was just like, he was a fat Mexican guy, right?
Yeah.
So, when AAA started, Conan was like, "Pena, look at this kid. Don't you remember? He's the one that I wrestled in WWF." And Pena was like, "I don't remember." He's like, just look at him. Just look at him. So after a while, Conan kept saying it to him. He was like, "Okay, we'll make him Madonna's boyfriend."
Well, that's how the gimmick came up, like that?
Yeah. Well, Ron Score called me, and he goes, "Guess what? What? You're going to be Madonna's boyfriend." "What?" "That's your new gimmick, Madonna's boyfriend." Madonna's boyfriend. I don't know, you're going to come out to like a virgin or something like that, and you're going to dance, and you're going to be Madonna's boyfriend. And I'm like, "Okay, and then you're going to go to Mexico." "When?" And, it took 4 or 5, 6 months for them to finally, get me down to Mexico. But when I got down to Mexico, I got this huge, huge push.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And I hated every second of it because I hated Mexico.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate the wrestling there or the guys, but I just hated the country.
Why?
Because it sucked. It was dirty. Nobody spoke English.
Is it really hard? I mean, as far as being English down there, being stuck in Mexico, nobody speaking English?
No. Yeah, no. I just didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "Man, you got to learn how to speak Spanish," and all that. I was like, "No, I don't."
Yeah.
As soon as I got there, I was ready to leave. But the whole thing was that I was making such good money, I didn't know how to justify to my family. It's like, wait a minute, you've been wrestling for 6.5 years or whatever, 7 years, waiting for your break in wrestling. Now you finally get it. You're making real money, and you want to quit.
Yeah.
So I was just caught in between a rock and a hard place. I was like, fuck, I hope something better comes along.
Yeah.
Right before that, Pat Patterson had called me and told me that, he wanted to give me a tryout since he hadn't seen me in a while. And I said, okay, and I waited, and then they told me I was going to Mexico, and I called them back and said, well, I'm going to Mexico. If you're going to, give me a try, you better do it. And they didn't. And then, they had a TV taping on a Monday, and I was supposed to go to Mexico on a Friday. And that Thursday, I called Pat Patterson. I said, tell him that if I don't come for my tryout on Monday, I'm leaving for Mexico tomorrow. And they called me back. They said, no, he doesn't want you to come in these TVs. And I said, well, okay, then I'm going to Mexico.
Yeah.
So I left.
That's how you wound up there.
Yeah.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.